Hello and welcome to Hot+keys podcast. This is the show where we talk about everything pop culture and random in the world.
Oh boy.
I'm your host, Mick, and today I'm joined by
Will Dobrats.
David Parker. And David
How's
Parker.
Your donut? How's your donut?
Oh, it's good. Did you have a new doctor's update that we need to know about? Like, do you have a hernia or?
No, it's just one of my more favorite Weird Al songs.
Living with a hernia. I like the video.
Got to be. Yeah, it's a great song. If you haven't listened to it,
I'm excited for that Weird Al movie too.
I'm kind of bummed that it's not like an actual biopic.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if it's gonna be like ridiculous, like this is the artist, it should be ridiculous. So I'm not upset about it.
I looked into it a little, and I think they would have a hard time making a biopic film about him because I've heard his life is extremely it's interesting, but it's not like that crazy roller coaster drama.
Well,
It's
he doesn't do drugs. He's never had alcohol.
Yeah, he's super
a vegetarian.
religious.
Yeah, he's a
super
vegetarian or
religious,
vegan
too.
or something.
Is he religious?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, Greek Orthodox. Who knew?
apparently Will.
Anyway, that's just what I've heard. So I've heard he was a very calm guy for a lot of his career. So it's not like Freddie Mercury or Elton John or Elvis.
I mean, you can make
big spirals.
you can make anyone's life an interesting story based off of how you present it. But I think him as a what kind of artist he is, what fits for him is this kind of movie, is like a spoof biopic, because it's a parody almost of real artists' lives and what they're like. So it's in a sense, it's kind of like it fits his shtick a lot.
Yeah, it really is.
Weird Al the movie.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm excited for it though. I'm looking forward to seeing it. When is it?
Yeah.
What does it come? It's on Roku or something, right?
Roku. I think it comes out isn't it later this month or something? Or is it October?
Something like that.
I think it's pretty soon.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see it. Should be funny.
Should be.
Yeah.
It's not. It's bad.
I mean, yeah. But that's most things that should be funny, right? If it's something that should be funny, but then it turns out not being funny, then it's bad.
That's the way I would
describe it. I'm glad we're on the same page.
Me too. That'd be weird if we weren't. Did you find the release date, Will?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
Let me try. Hold on.
David, did you finish your donut yet?
Nope.
September 8th, 2022.
Oh.
So 5 days.
Next week. Dang.
Next Thursday.
Does anyone have Roku?
No.
That's a good question.
I don't have Roku.
For
I thought
every
you had,
single person.
or do you have an Amazon Fire Stick or something? Or
I do.
Oh.
4K Fire Stick.
Wow.
I'm sure you can go
on
online
a
to
1080p TV.
Wow.
I'm sure you could go online to Roku.com.
An overinvestment.
Future investment.
Future. Fair enough.
Yeah. What'd you say, Dave?
I said I'm sure you could go onto the Roku website and then there's either a way to watch it on there somehow or pay for it or whatever.
Too bad it's not in theaters.
Yeah.
That'd be fun to see on the big screen.
Yeah.
Because
You know,
we didn't get
so
to see
much.
UHF in
Deserves
theaters.
a big screen movie.
I still haven't seen UHF.
What?
Man.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
I love that movie. That's one of my favorite comedies. It just has so many great moments. And I actually think it's a good movie too. I don't understand why it didn't do very well critically when it came out, because it also very much so makes fun of the kind of movie it is, because it's kind of down on their luck kind of thing, and they run out of money and they have to earn enough money in a short amount of time to pay off some really rich guy. So it's been done many times, but in a sense it the whole movie is just also kind of I don't know. It's very self-aware in how silly the movie is. It does not take itself seriously.
The whole thing is a parody.
Yeah, but all the little moments in the movie, there's so many of them. They're just all so funny. And if you like Weird Al, it's I'm bummed it did poorly, because apparently that really affected him as an artist too. He put him into a deep depression and everything and all that kind of stuff, because I think it didn't do well at the box office either, which is a shame, because
it was a flop on every level.
Which is a shame, because I think it's a legitimately good comedy, and I think it deserved much better recognition. And since then, it really has become like it is a cult classic film
Yes.
in all regards. So there are lots of people who really like the movie, but when it needed to be a success, it wasn't a success, which is a bummer for someone like Weird Al, who I really like and admire as an artist. He's one of those people that like I don't really I'm like, as for like how people really are like what their lives are like, it kind of makes me like not really want to meet a lot of artists or other musicians or actors or anything like that. People who are like in the public figure. Weird Al, I think, is one of those very few people that it's like I think it would be fun to like meet him and like talk to him, because I think he would, I don't know, I think he'd be like a cool guy to talk to. And there's very few people that I feel that way about, that I would that I like admire on that level, or you know. So I hope this movie does well.
I think it will. I think it helps that it's more of an independent film than anything else.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have that big box office pressure that I think UHF might have had. So
He is in it too. He plays like a
Is he a music
record
executive or something?
Yeah, something like that.
I saw him a couple times in the trailer. It was really funny. I was like, God,
Yeah.
that's Weird Al.
I saw
I
a
like
funny
Daniel Radcliffe, so I think he'll do it.
I saw a funny post on Reddit. It was a picture of him sitting like at his desk in the movie in his cameo, and there's a picture of Weird Al, like actual Weird Al, behind him. And someone had like circled the picture, and like after scouring the movie, I found the Weird Al cameo, and so but they circled the picture, like, but Weird Al is like in the foreground playing this
That's
music
funny.
executive.
Yeah, it has Rainn Wilson. He's playing
Dr. Demento.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. Maybe by next week, some of us will have seen it. So
I think it's funny that every time Daniel Radcliffe goes to sing, it's just Weird Al's voice, like input into, like edited in. Does that make sense? I don't know if you noticed that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
were you
I think
on
I think
the
it's pretty funny.
the episode
talked
where
about
we
this.
talked about that, like
I think it was-
singers?
Did we talk about this last week?
No, it was.
I was gone last week.
It was a recent episode, and I don't think you were here, but
No.
we were talking about pretty much this exact same thing.
Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, because what
it's your
movie?
bad.
Yeah, we were talking about a movie where they.
I think we were talking about
the
like,
Beach Boys song.
The Beach Boys,
Yeah.
and then we talked about Queen.
Yeah, I mean, like I want Weird Al to be the one singing in this movie. Like I'm sure Daniel Radcliffe has a fine voice, but
He
Like-
can sing. Like he is like a stage performer too. So he can. It's funny. He can sing and he can also dance. But in some behind the scenes of Harry Potter stuff, when they're doing the Yule Ball, the Christmas ball in book 4, he's talking about like, oh, I'm a terrible dancer. I'm so uncoordinated. I can't I can't do this. Like it's good because Harry's supposed to be bad at dancing, but he's actually like a really good dancer.
Nice.
Totally nice.
Yeah. You just had to bring up Harry Potter somehow.
Oh, if we're talking about Daniel Radcliffe, it made sense. Will
It made sense. All right, sure.
we're not 10 minutes into the episode, and Michael already said Harry Potter.
Well, speaking of Harry Potter, there a bunch of stuff was released about Hogwarts Legacy.
Oh, really? I didn't see any of it, so you should give me a recap.
Yeah, well, so they did some releases of pre-order stuff, which apparently I don't know what pre-order has like gone smoothly and doesn't make people mad, but people got mad about it, and to their defense,
Yeah, I was
like,
gonna say it sounds like every other pre-order then, but
Yeah,
I think
it,
pre-orders are stupid anyway, so I don't think people should pre-order things.
no, I'll probably pre-order it.
I pre-ordered The Last of Us Part 1, but
I guess Dave's so much better than the rest of
yeah,
us.
Dave's so much like he's just better ethically, you know? Like
Yeah.
he holds himself to higher ethical
I
standards
source
than
all
the
of my
kids.
games ethically.
Yes.
I had it
Farm,
organized.
yeah, free range video games for me only.
Although about Hogwarts Legacy, I did hear that there would be no Quidditch.
I think that I don't know. It's not confirmed, but it's like highly
Speculated that there would be
speculated.
no Quidditch.
Which I'm not that upset about. I think
There's already
It
the
would
hit
be-
like 2002 Quidditch game that you can play on GameCube and PlayStation 2, so
was that Quidditch World Cup.
something like that.
I think it would be a mistake if they didn't eventually do like a free DLC where you can just play Quidditch.
yeah.
But in terms of like the story, I don't know if it like is necessary.
Well, here's what I was thinking. It would be cool if you go throughout the year, right? Because throughout the year in every Harry Potter, there's a Quidditch season every year, right?
Yeah.
I guess I would be thinking it'd be cool if you could like in to the story works in these Quidditch games that you play, and you have various different outcomes of Quidditch. Like at the end of the game, you can finish first, second, third, fourth, be a great seeker, or be a terrible seeker, or be like the best bludgeoner of all time, or something. I don't know. That's just my idea. Where it's like you can work it into the school year because you're playing through 1 year, right?
I think so.
So I don't know. That's just in my mind. First thing that comes to mind is you're getting to Hogwarts. You can play Quidditch. You can hone your Quidditch skills depending on how good you are. That might affect everything else around it going forward. But that's so much. The game is already so huge from what it sounds
Yeah,
like. So.
and it sounds like it's very like story driven.
Yeah.
So it's not something that I'm like I would be really upset about if it's not in there. If it's not in the main game. Yeah, they're like special edition, like collector's edition that they did. It's pretty stupid. It's like a fake book, like a plastic book that's opened up, and then you get like this wand that is magnetically like floats on top of the book, and then I think you get like the steel book with the game.
Steelbook. I'll probably buy it.
But it's like over $300.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, it's really, really dumb. Like, it doesn't come with like the soundtrack. It doesn't come with posters. The book is fake, so that's like, okay, I have this giant like fake plastic book that's always open.
But it levitates the wand,
Yeah.
Michael. It's so cool. It's $300.
Yeah, so a lot of people were upset about that.
Yeah, understandably so. That's a bad special edition.
It is. Yeah, it's like way too overpriced. Doesn't come with enough. It's dumb.
I feel like I never get like the super special edition of any games unless I really, really like the game. I'm fully sold on the game before it's released.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get that edition, but I do want the
Deluxe edition steelbook probably if there is
No,
one.
I'm not. I don't care about steelbooks.
Really?
I actually don't like cases. So if I do get a disc, I'll just throw away the case and then put it in my like giant CD.
See, I love cases.
Nah, I hate cases.
I like having
I
it
go
on
back
display.
and forth. Like I have a love-hate relationship with cases. Because I like all my PS3 games. I did what Michael did with his current games because like I just was running out of room and it like I could save a lot of space at the time because I had a very small bedroom. But sometimes it is cool to like have all the cases, but also it's like I don't know. Sometimes there's just too much, and like I go back and forth between like, oh, like having the cases on display is really cool, to being like, ugh, like that's really cringy. Like
really cringy.
yeah, I need to have something else on displays. But like I understand both I guess points of view, and I do go back and forth, from time to time. I think it's the less games I have, the more I'm okay with the physical copies on display. But with PS3 games, I just had a lot of PS3 games. But like PS4 and PS5, I actually didn't have very many discs, so I think I kept all of those cases. Like PS5, I think I have like 2 or maybe 3 disc games, and then the rest are all digital.
I think for PS5, I already have like 5 or 6, maybe 7.
I think I have one that's a disc.
I know Mick has either one or none because I brought one of my games that I beat when I last visited, and I was going to do a game swap with him. So I was like, "Hey Mick, here, just pick a game that you have that you already beat, and then I'll lend you this disc, and then you can lend me yours." And Michael was like, "I don't have any hard copy PS5 games; they're all digital." So I didn't let him borrow the game. I said, "Well, that's not fair."
Gran Turismo.
I actually think I left the game with you. Have you played it?
Yeah. No, it's still sitting in the exact same spot. Where
What game is it?
Phoenix
Persona 5 Royale.
Immortal Rising. Is that what it's called? Immortal Phoenix Rising.
Immortals Phoenix Rising.
Although, Dave, with how much you play, you could probably beat it in a week. Royal.
Persona 5. I was thinking about getting back into it again. I know
You say that every time.
I started that game, Will, I think in 2017. Maybe
Isn't that nuts?
maybe 2018.
Yeah.
That is nuts.
Yeah. But I did
so
get back.
long.
I got back into Sekiro that I started last year. So I did try to go back to a game that I started a long time ago.
Do you just throw darts on a
Sometimes.
wall, like trying to pick like which game to go back to? You're just like, eyes closed, throw dart.
Kind of. Sometimes.
Gotcha.
I usually I start first by picking.
I saw that one.
I start first by either picking like, do I feel like sitting at my computer or do I feel like sitting on the couch? And then I go from there from like, am I feeling more like a strategy heavy game or like an action game? So I have like all these like little kind of like flow charts in my head where I go from. But the first decision I always make is, do I want to be sitting at my computer and play a PC game, or do I want to sit on the couch and play a console game?
Couch or computer?
Couch or computer.
You know, the age-old question.
Yeah, which is it?
Mick's like, my console is at my desk, so I.
It is. But yeah, I would probably pick one of the lower tier pre-orders because you get a Thestral mount, and you don't get a Thestral if you just buy the game. The only way you can get it is through a pre-order.
What's a Thestral mount?
It's that dead horse thing.
Is the winged horses you see.
I
you
see.
see someone die.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so like I think if you were going to, like, if you had interest in the really expensive set, instead you should just buy the cheapest game and then just buy a cool Harry Potter Lego set instead. Because there are actually, like,
I would rather do that.
Recently they actually came out with a lot of Harry Potter sets that I thought were pretty cool. Did you see the book ones, Michael?
Yeah, they have the book ones.
Yeah, they're like these like big size, like real size books, Will, and then you open them up and they're like little like vignettes of like scenes from some of the movies. One of them I think is like a potions book that opens up and it's like the potions classroom or something. But it's like a nice sized book, and I think each of the sets is only $30 or something.
That's awesome.
And there was like 3 or 4 of them. I mean, they have other cool stuff too. I mean, seems like 5 or 7 years they release a new castle, and they recently came out with another like giant Harry Potter castle, which those are kind of cool. I've never been big on Harry Potter Legos, but I've always liked castle Legos, and I think the Harry Potter castle looks kind of cool.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just like Legos though too. So if it
have
looks
you bought
cool,
any recently?
no, I don't think so.
Yeah.
You need to get back on the Lego buying grind, Dave.
Well, the thing is, like, I have so many Legos that what I'll do is, like, I'll build them all and then take them apart, and then, like, months later, I'll, like pick a set and rebuild it. So a lot of my sets I've taken apart and rebuilt, like, half a dozen times. So sometimes that, like fixes the itch of, like, oh, I need to buy a new set when I already have, like, all these cool sets unbuilt that I can build, and they're all like really big sets that I like. Like I have a lot of castle sets and Lord of the Rings sets that I'm really fond of. Medieval sets, Western sets, you know.
Will's just like in disappointment shock.
Yeah, Will's like, how dare you not spend money?
I just don't know why I expected anything different for Dave to come up with a way to not spend money. Yeah. Like,
but I still have a fun time.
Admirable in some ways.
Well, but like you also run out of space to display stuff too. And so, like, as much as I'd love to buy new Legos, and there are times where, like, I'll buy a new Lego set. I haven't done that in a long time, but, like, sometimes I want to display something that I build, and sometimes I just don't have space for it. Like, I'd have to buy all new shelves.
Yeah, that's fair, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I am out of room.
You're severely out of room.
I mean, I guess I could start putting them
in the kitchen.
There are some in the kitchen already.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
That's when you know you have a problem, is when your Legos are taking up where your dishes should be.
Yeah. They're in the dishwasher. They're in the cupboard.
Yeah, I go over to look for a glass. I open the cupboard, and there's a pirate ship in there. Has your cat knocked over any sets yet?
No, but a few times he's taken one of my Batman minifigures into the bathroom. And I'm like, what? Yeah, I'm like, what are you doing?
You leave your toilet lid closed, right? Like,
I do, but I also found some.
It's like trying to drown a Batman or something. He's like, where are they?
He also really likes Q-tips, so I found some Q-tips in the toilet a few times. So
weird.
Yeah, he like specifically digs through the garbage to grab Q-tips.
Ew.
Yeah, I'm like, what are you, stupid?
Gross.
Like, get out of there.
You should get the lids that close then that you have to like step on so that the cat can't go through the garbage.
Well, I started throwing them away in my kitchen garbage because that one does that. But he'll knock over the garbage can in my bedroom like every day. Like I'll get home and like, okay, I'll pick this up. You always knock it over.
Why don't you close your bedroom door so he can't go in the bedroom?
Well, because I don't want him to be like, I have to be in the living room where all the Legos are. Like I want him to feel like he can go into the bedroom.
Yeah. Cats hate closed doors.
Yeah,
they hate closed doors. They want to be behind the closed door.
But yeah, he did start jumping up. You know where the Daily Bugle is?
Oh, that's like at the top of one of your bookshelves.
Yeah, he's recently started jumping up on top of those now. So now I'm getting really nervous.
That's not a set you want knocked over.
No.
It's like 3,000 something pieces.
Yeah, at least. So he started getting up there. He started getting up where the pirate ship is, like on top of the kitchen cupboards and stuff. So he pretty much goes everywhere now. So
Dang.
I'm just waiting for the day to come back and like all my Legos are just trashed in the toilet or something.
Oh man.
But I think I'm crazy because I might be getting another cat.
One's
Why would you
just
do
not
that?
enough, huh?
One's just not enough. Yeah, his I think his mom just had another litter not too long ago, and I wasn't interested until my friend Crystal sent me pictures of some of the cats, and one has like a really cool like black pattern on its face, and I was like, okay, I'll go visit this cat. If I don't like if there's not like chemistry there, I won't bother. But
It sounds like a blind date.
but I like but I like the pattern, and if it's a cool cat,
If
then
there's no chemistry, then it's no big deal.
no big deal.
But if there's something, maybe you can work something out.
We should see where it takes us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I really need to get Alfred fixed here pretty soon.
What's wrong with him?
His balls are getting huge. It was almost like night and day. Like like he's just like walking away from me, and I like look over and I'm like, whoa! Like where did those come from?
Oh my.
But I think it's like around the 6-month mark is when it's like good to fix a cat, and he's only like at 4 months. So
Gotcha.
guess they're gonna get bigger before they get chopped off. Yeah.
Well then.
Poor cat. Yeah. I think it'll calm him down a little bit too, because I think he's starting to get a little like
Yeah, nothing quite calms me down like a
good
wait.
ball chop.
Yep, probably did.
Can we go back
I mean,
to talking about Legos?
So you don't like talking about chopping off balls?
So I got this Lego that looks like a cat, and
I got a Lego
has
guillotine.
detachable balls that you can.
Oh man.
A Lego guillotine. It's actually sharp.
Oh.
So I guess I don't know if we talked about any. I guess Weird Al. We talked about watching stuff. She-Hulk. Have people been keeping up with that, or did you give up?
No, I watched the most recent episode too.
Did you stay till after the credits?
I did. Well, I went to the bathroom. I forgot there was an after credit scene, and then I guess Bree paused it, and then I came back and watched the
Is
after
that
credit
the
scene.
infamous twerking scene?
Yeah, are people freaking out about that or something?
I think people think it's stupid.
Oh,
Seems like it
It
is.
kind of is. Twerking in general is stupid.
Well, here's the thing. I personally don't care, right? I don't care that much. I haven't watched She-Hulk. She blows. She-Hulk.
what were you saying, Will?
I don't care about the twerking thing. I do think it is a little stupid how I don't know. It's just why. Like, I don't know. I'm not a fan of-
is the artist known for that or something?
I think so. I don't even know.
Because she was a character in the episode because there was a shapeshifter who transformed into her, and the whole episode is this guy thought he was dating the real artist, but it was the shapeshifter instead. So he finds out and then sues her for defamation and like loss of money and stuff. So so she was like in part of the episode because the shapeshifter was changing into her. This episode had like the first like more like law stuff. There was like a hearing, and then there was another thing with Abomination. So like there's like actual law stuff happening now, which I find more interesting than like the superhero stuff. But she's not really like doing superhero things. She's really is like a lawyer. So, but I actually think it's kind of funny for the most part. Like I think the first episode is the worst, but it's just like her origin basically, which is I think why it wasn't very interesting. But the next 2 episodes I actually thought weren't bad at all.
Nice.
Yeah, I still haven't watched it.
I don't know. I don't know. I see like the clips of like people getting mad at it. I'm like, that's kind of stupid. But on like, I think it is stupid, but I think it's also stupid to get really angry about it. I don't know. The show doesn't interest me, but I'll probably watch it honestly.
I mean I've liked it. I've other than that first episode I've enjoyed it. This episode well like Tim Roth is in it. He's like a pretty interesting character. There was like the last episode too had like Wong showed up for a while at one of the hearings because of the whole Shang-Chi thing. So You've actually had some like
nice.
interesting cameos for like a
That
Marvel
sounds
show.
a lot more. It sounds a lot more interesting to have legal battles over events in the MCU. Sounds a lot more interesting than just that in itself is a more interesting concept than anything that I think has to do with She-Hulk, the actual character. But I could be wrong.
Like, oh, she's just another superhero.
Right. That's what I'm thinking about She-Hulk. But if you do like, oh, there are legal ramifications to all the stuff that happens in the MCU, that's what I'm interested in. And it sounds like it might be taking that approach.
Well, yeah, because what happens is, so she's a lawyer. She, like, at the end of the first episode, basically reveals herself as She-Hulk because someone breaks into the courtroom, and so she like changes in to like fight this person, and she loses her job because they don't want the publicity or something. Which I thought was the same like No Way Home. What was it? What was the most recent Spider-Man? Was it No Way Home?
No Way
Home.
Yeah, No Way Home thing where like none of the colleges wanted Peter, which I still think like wasn't super realistic. Like I can understand there's certain kind of things like we don't want to deal with, but so far I feel like Marvel has portrayed superheroes as being like good things, like society like looks up to them and admires them. They're not really like pariahs in the Marvel universe.
Specifically with Spider-Man was that he was possible murderer. Like that's why.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I still think I voiced my thoughts.
Want to hang out with murderers, Dave?
I voiced my thoughts
when
we talked about that
murderers
movie
in your house.
I voiced my thoughts when we talked about that movie, and I thought like it wasn't entirely realistic that every single place like shot him down, especially like once he was like absolved essentially, except for like the crazy like J. Jonah Jameson type people that were the only ones thinking he was still guilty at the time. But this kind of had that same feeling where it's like she lost her job and then like no one wanted to hire her, which I didn't find super realistic because at least for what we had seen so far, she appeared to be like a competent lawyer, even if she was like a junior lawyer and up and coming. But then she gets hired at this firm basically to be for like their superhero division for like court cases that are specifically involving superhuman individuals. So like it's interesting because so far there hasn't been a lot of like superhero-ish fight scenes, but it involves superheroes because it's like a courtroom style kind of comedy with these established superhero characters that for the most part we already know. And so like as long as they keep doing that, I think the show could continue being pretty interesting and funny. Like I've actually found it to be fairly funny, except for the first episode. But first episode, actually, like if you like wanted to watch it, you could almost just skip it. I mean, it only is like 30 minutes, but I don't know. It kind of was a waste of time, I thought. It has a lot of Bruce though, if you like the Hulk. But
I do like Mark Ruffalo.
Anyway, so that's the She-Hulk update.
Dab.
Yeah. I'll probably watch it. I still need to watch Moon Knight and What If, and is there another Marvel show I missed?
I watched 2 episodes of What If, and I was like,
What if?
What if? And I was like, what oof? I watched 2 episodes of What If, and I was like, I don't know if this show is for me, and I stopped.
I watched the Captain Carter episode, and I was like, this isn't interesting to me. It's like, 1, it's too close to Captain America, and 2, I don't know. They didn't make the characters compelling.
That's the point.
I know it's the point, but it's also not a very good idea.
It's not a good point.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fair.
I'm fine with like the whole like what if things and stuff, but at least the 2 episodes that I saw, just like they just weren't interesting.
Which 2 did you watch?
The first 2. So it's the Captain Carter one, and then it's like Thanos is a guardian of the galaxy or something.
Is that right?
Like
T'Challa as Star-Lord?
I think yes. Okay. And then I never went back. I
don't remember a lot about that series.
Did you watch the whole thing?
Yeah.
Oh dang, a true Marvel fanboy over here. Well, speaking of shows that have been, I guess, not perceived very well online.
Speaking of Marvel fanboys. Yeah, Rings of Power just came out.
Lots of review bombs
a few days ago.
Lots
of hate for this show.
Yes, a lot of hate.
And I think it's... Look, people have their own opinion. That's fine. But
no, it's not.
I think that there's... I think that there's a point where it's like, okay, I feel like you are like really, really reaching and trying to find something that's wrong about it. And, that's my opinion because I did like the 2 episodes and I really don't understand the hate that the show's getting.
I watched the first one. I thought it was okay. There was not a lot that really grabbed my interest. I'll watch the second episode to see, if how it continues. It's not that, and I don't think it's that it was like an intro episode, but there was just nothing that really jumped out at me as anything particularly interesting or like really compelling. A lot of the characters, like, they just seem kind of bland. I don't know if you get what I mean. Like, it does seem like they're trying to go for some spectacle, but I'm just not. I haven't like seen it yet, so I'll give it more time to see what happens. But the world seems kind of cool. Like you do, at least in the first episode, they jump around to a lot of different parts of Middle Earth that you see.
Yeah, the show, the first and the second episode, there is a lot of jumping around, so it can get a little confusing in terms of just like, okay, what am I, like, where am I now? Who are these people? And it is like, with any Tolkien stuff, there's a huge learning curve on just the names alone of the characters, because a lot of them sound the same and they're kind of like unique names anyway, so that alone is kind of like difficult to get a hang of.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, at least for like what we've seen so far, like for the elves, like we have Galadriel, we have Elrond, there's Celebrimbor, right? Were there any other like really noteworthy elves? That, I mean, there's the other guy that's over like with the humans that like the humans hate. But there's like the high elves, I guess.
I mean, he's not in it very long. That's Galadriel's brother.
Oh yeah, he dies like 2 minutes in, right? In her like intro speech. But like,
Rod, no.
And I don't even necessarily think it's me comparing those three characters to the movies that we see, like the characters that we see in the movie. But like, they seem more like humans in costumes to me than elves. And there's something about the movies that like they just feel and look, and like everything about them seems really elfish. Especially in this show, is it Celebrimbor or the
who?
He's like the old guy that looks like he has a mullet, kind of. In
is he the guy you're talking about that is the Smith, and he's, I mean, that might be the second episode. Who are you talking about?
It's the other elf. It's not Elrond. It's the other guy.
Like the guy that's like crowning everybody.
Yeah, he kind of seems like he's like, I forget. It's not Celebrimbor, right? Because Celebrimbor is like the really old looking dude, right?
Celebrimbor is the one that
he shows up just for like a second or two, I think, in the first episode.
Yeah, he talks with Elrond.
Which he, like, in the movies, is, like, almost, like, prime elf, kind of, and Galadriel, too. Like, yeah,
isn't in the...
Yeah, isn't he Galadriel's, like, paramour or husband or whatever?
No.
Or is that Gil-galad or something?
No, it's not Gil-galad.
Anyway, I'll give it more time.
That's what I'm talking about, though. It's, like, really hard to...
I'll give it more time, but I just wasn't, like, super... Like, yeah, I guess impressed with the first episode. Oh, in the movie, I'm thinking of Celeborn.
Celeborn.
Yeah.
Celebron James.
No.
Yeah, he just got traded to the High Elves.
Signed a contract extension.
Sorry for the confusion, listeners. I'm talking about Gil-galad.
Okay, Gil-galad.
Yeah, which he also was in the movie, but just for like a very short bit.
I am Gil-galad. You got your thoughts straight.
Thank you, Wilhelm. Are you gonna watch it, Will? Then, or
I will. Yes.
Okay. Because you're a Lord of the Rings fan, right?
Yes.
You dabble.
I dabble.
Okay. I
have seen all the movies, read The Hobbit, and haven't read the books.
Did you play any games?
Not so. Shadow. I've wanted to play Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of War. Not wanting to get super into them though, because I don't know how worthwhile they are.
I only played the first one. I thought it was pretty fun. It's the gameplay is, I think, what's most fun with that game. The story is kind of meh, and the world is like you're so in like just like one area that there's not a lot of variety. But the nemesis system that they do in that game is really cool. It's like it's very video gamey, and it was like the way they handled that I thought was really fun. It made like well, you're not a revenge guy, but it made like revenge and everything like really like feel really good in that game when you finally take down the orc that you've been like hunting all this time that killed you earlier in the game. So so like and you could beat the game pretty quickly. The second game I played on Games Pass for a little bit, but I only played for like 5 hours or something back in 2019.
What was I gonna say? Yeah, the Lord of the Rings game I played the most is the Third Age. which is
Yeah.
Final Fantasy X with a
with a Lord of the Rings skin. It's
Lord of the Rings skin, which isn't a bad choice.
No.
I think we talked about this before.
We have talked about that on the show before. It's a good game.
So
Fun game.
that's a very enjoyable game, and I very much enjoyed playing it. Played, I think, 3/4 of it, something like that. Didn't finish it, unfortunately.
Well,
Crazy because it was split into 2 discs. I miss when games had 2 different discs.
It was 2 discs, really? Oh wait, you played on the GameCube probably?
On the GameCube.
Okay.
Yeah, it was.
It was 1 disc, I think,
the
on the
discs
PS2.
could hold less on the GameCube because the GameCube was less powerful than the PS2.
And the discs were literally smaller.
Yes, they
like half
were
the size.
tiny, very very tiny.
Yeah, it's weird. Like Nintendo used a like proprietary like system or like hardware like that never happens.
Yeah, never happened.
Um,
It's not like the Switch is like 10 years outdated in its hardware.
Well, at least the Switch supported SD cards. Like that was a big win for society.
Yeah, but it can't render some games that it definitely should be able to render in 2022. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Do you have the advanced Switch or the
no?
original?
Well, the OLED isn't really advanced, so
it's really just the screen.
it's the screen that's advanced.
Oh, okay.
So, although I am jealous if I'm ever playing offline of the OLED screen because it looks like a bajillion times better. With that being said, I usually play on the TV for almost all my games. Yeah, when I'm playing Xenoblade 3, and experiencing that masterpiece of dialogue. Sorry, that was sarcasm. Sorry.
I can tell.
I don't know.
Will's like, wait, like you don't have to tell people you're being sarcastic. They can just tell.
Yeah, I can't pick up sarcasm with my life. Like if somebody like put a gun to my head and said, "I'm going to say 3 sentences. One of them is going to be sarcastic."
You'd just be like,
one?
shoot me now.
I'd be like, I would be like, okay, 1 1/3 chance. Here we go. I'm guessing randomly.
Wow, that's scary.
Why is it scary?
Because you're gonna die.
I mean, I'm not
You're gonna
actually
guess
in that
wrong.
situation though.
It's hypothetically scary. In your
It is hypothetically scary
situation.
in my hypothetical world,
Yes.
my hypothetical mind.
Did
but
you
no,
like the second episode?
I did, yeah. I think it gets better, and there's good characters that you go into more dwarven stuff, and that was some of the bigger highlights of the episode. But no, one of my issues with it is people are kind of a common thing I'm seeing is people are complaining that it's like this isn't pure Tolkien, and Tolkien wouldn't write stuff like this and blah blah blah, but they're citing the Jackson films, which are like as far away from like a pure Tolkien thing as almost you could get. Like there's so much stuff in those movies that are added or taken away. Characters are completely changed.
Tolkien wrote the Legolas snowboarding down the steps scene on the shield.
Well,
that was
not
in the
just
book. That was
not
in
stuff
the
like
book.
that, but like actual character changes. Like Aragorn is completely different than he is in the books.
Boromir is also completely different, right?
Faramir is completely different. Like there's Arwen is doing a lot more stuff than she does in the book. Like stuff like that where it is like, okay, I don't I don't take anything you're saying then because you're citing something that is not
Not the source material.
is not the source material. Yeah, so it's stuff like that where I'm like, okay, you're just stupid and you don't get it. And I do think the show feels different than the movies, which I think is a good thing. It's a different age in the Middle Earth world. So I'm fine with things feeling different, things looking a little bit different. Which that's been another big complaint is like, oh, elves have short hair and that's stupid. Like, why they're supposed to have long blonde hair?
Well, some of them have long blonde hair. Others have
Some of them
mullets.
do.
Others have shaved heads.
I didn't know there was a rule for what hair elves can
There's
have.
not. There's not.
There's not?
No, it's just people being
Why not?
like, it's stupid.
Why are people like that?
Wait, what are people doing?
I wish I knew. They're like,
Oh my!
but the show,
No one wanted that.
no one wanted to see the face either. But the show, like, it looks amazing. Like, it looks so pretty.
It's got that mega money behind it, though.
Yeah, it's like, I think they said it's the most expensive show
TV of all
ever.
time. Yeah.
Which it definitely shows.
Got that Jeff Bezos money.
Yep.
Being pumped into it.
That's right. Pump it up.
Pump up the jam.
Pump it up. Pump the jam.
Right, David.
Yeah, pump it up.
Okay. uh, but yeah, I'm on board with the show, and I'm excited to see
Nice.
more of it.
I think I'm excited to watch it. I'm excited to see where it goes. I hope that they I hope it's all I hope is that it's worth my time, which is it's a pretty broad thing to say, but I don't know. I feel like that
an
could
hour a week.
I mean, not in the sense of like, oh, I need to get my time's worth out of it, but in the sense of like, oh, I just want to watch it and enjoy it. It's like I'm gonna take it like I took the Kenobi stuff, where it's like Kenobi's not the perfect show by any means.
It's not.
Landon's not here, so I can talk in a
I
positive
can
light
just
about
hear
it.
Landon like screaming miles away.
Garbage.
I mean, I'm also not a huge fan of the Obi-Wan show.
Okay.
Okay, well, you're officially cut off. But I mean, like, it's not the perfect show, and it's definitely not I wouldn't say it's even a great show. I'd say it's a pretty decent, good show in some ways.
Yeah.
But I think there were parts of it that were entertaining enough for me to watch it, and that I got value out of it. I hope the same thing is with The Lord of the Rings of Power, where my expectations are immediately lower because of the studio that's behind it, the money that's behind it, almost the attitude that's behind it. That I can kind of sense, where it's like they want to make money. Like that's what they're like. I feel like their biggest motivation is with this show. They want to kick off Amazon Prime like streaming service as like a big like option like Netflix, right? Where it already is a big option in some ways, but this is their magnum opus for exclusivity.
This is like if you want to come to Amazon Prime, like this is a show.
This is the show to watch.
Yeah.
And so I have low expectations. Like whenever you have that mindset, I feel my expectations lower because
Yeah, that's fair.
and it's fair, but I don't know, something that it's just something that I keep in mind, or I try to set my expectations lower for. But we'll see. Maybe it'll blow it out of the water. I don't know. Haven't seen it. Can't say.
Yeah. I've personally been. I mean, only 2 episodes, but I really enjoy the first 2.
Yeah.
I'm sucked in. I want more.
Literally, like you're getting sucked into the TV every time you watch
Yep.
it. Wow.
Whoa!
Reverse poltergeist.
Is what? I feel like that's in. Is that Poltergeist where the kid's stuck inside the TV and he's like,
I don't know. I've never seen them.
Dave, is that Poltergeist where the kid's stuck in the TV and it's like, scary?
I think so.
there's
I've also
something
not
with
seen
me
a
in here.
Poltergeist. It's
Okay,
one
well,
where the
never
kid like goes up to like the screen and there's like that shh. Like,
Yeah.
They're here. That one.
That's Poltergeist.
Yeah. One thing that I do like about the show is that they have planned out everything and they know like the last shot of the whole series. And that's what I like. I like planned out stuff like, hey, we're going to talk about some Star Wars here.
As soon as you said, I like planned out stuff, I looked at you and
Yeah.
I'm like, we're going to one place. It always comes down to The Last Jedi.
The sequel trilogy
always comes down to The
had
Last Jedi.
no plan at all, and it was pretty obvious.
Oh, Rian Johnson had an
Rian
interview.
Johnson.
It's Rian.
Ryan.
Rian Johnson
Ryan.
had an interview.
It's Ryan Johnson.
So, Mr. Johnson.
Rian is not a name.
Mr. Johnson.
Mr. Johnson.
Mr. Johnson had an
R.
interview
Johnson.
with, I think it was Empire. I think that was the magazine. And he said
That's fitting.
5 years later, right? Or it was like almost 5
Oh,
years
I
later.
saw this too. Oh my
He
god.
was proud of what he created.
He's an idiot
What?
when it comes to Star Wars.
It makes me want to watch The Last Jedi again because I think so. I did not like that movie. So, but here's the thing: I want to give it a second chance.
Have you only seen it once?
I've only seen it once. I want to give it a second chance.
I also
Because-
have only seen it once.
Because after the Rise of Skywalker, I want to give it a second chance because it Rise of Skywalker was so bland, so boring, so play it safe that I think I'm going to appreciate The Last Jedi more for what they did.
No.
No, because
No.
The Rise of Skywalker is worse than The Last Jedi. You would probably disagree with this.
I have different reasons why I dislike both the movies. I dislike The Last Jedi because it actually made me mad. Like, it pissed me off what they did with some of the characters and just the lack of, like, story that was happening. That movie, like, actually pissed me off. Rise of Skywalker, that one, like you said, it's just boring and like bland. Played it safe. There's some like really stupid choices that they made in that movie that I like. My expectations for The Last Jedi were way higher than Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah,
I would. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Will.
I was just gonna say really quick. I would rather feel anger than apathy about a movie.
I
don't know.
Yeah, I think I agree. I do agree with Will on this. I think the episode 8 was like, I think is like, it ruined Star Wars. I think in a sense that like if it wasn't already ruined from like many other things, like it kind of like basically made it so like it was really hard to redeem essentially. But I do think that The Last Jedi is like the worst Star Wars movie.
I think that they're both terrible films.
Oh, hold on. I think that The Rise of Skywalker is the worst Star Wars movie.
Is that what I said? Or no?
You said
I
The
may have
Last Jedi.
I may have said the wrong. Episode 9 is the worst. Episode 8, like I think basically kind of like broke Star Wars. But I think like overall, like 9 I think had a chance to maybe like fix some things. But
So-
I think it doubled down like way too hard. And I think like the story was horrible. Like I think it was worse than episode 8. I think episode 8 it had some problems where like it was trying to like be too like you know subversive, and it did that in those ways. And I think episode 9 just was like a poor movie like overall. But it was to the point that like I kind of like what Will said, like episode 8 like it makes you angry, but episode 9 kind of like it made me not feel anything. Like it was almost like a sense of apathy, and I don't know if that's why I like episode 9 worse, but I felt that way about episode 9, and I would like easily say episode 9 was like I think like the worst Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Like I said, a big part that plays into it were my expectations for it. My expectations were really high for episode 8, and then really low for episode 9, and it's all episode 8's fault.
I mean, I also had really low expectations for episode 9 because of episode 8, and I still was like, man, well, that was awful.
Yeah.
I remember I saw that movie with you, Dave.
I guess there's a like,
and I walked out and Dave was just like staring off into the distance. I'm like, Dave, like, what'd you think? And he's like, I don't know what I just watched. I don't know. I'm like, oh no. Like if episode 8 broke Star Wars, episode 9 broke
Dave. Well, okay, I was excited for episode 8, and then I was disappointed. I was not excited for episode 9 at all, and I was still somehow like let down. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
That's how I felt.
I mean, both movies are horrible. Like I feel like I don't need to go into like oh no, 9 is definitely worse than 8, or 8 is worse than 9. They both like are awful movies, and if someone just asked like which one is worse, I'd probably have to say 9, because they had a chance to fix some things, and somehow Palpatine returned.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Anyway, what other things?
that line.
What other
I
things
hate
other
that
than
line.
Star Wars did you want to talk about?
I hate that.
I
line.
have all the Jedi behind me.
No.
Let me do the exact same thing that's been done in the
Oh my
jillion other episodes. Oh my gosh.
Ouch. Yeah, Rings of Power. Give it a shot because I think it's really good. Seinfeld. Will, you've been watching Seinfeld?
Yeah, I decided one day that I was feeling like laughing, and I decided to watch the first season of Seinfeld. I didn't laugh as much as I thought I would.
Yeah, the first season is not great.
There are some funny moments in the first season.
There are, but it's
They're still getting their footing, I can tell. I'm going to keep with it. I'm on season 2 now.
I mean, it's one of the best TV shows.
And I'm just excited because I think I could already tell the first episode of season 2 was already better than some of the episodes in season 1. But I don't know. It's kind of a weird. Does Jerry always do? Does it always start with a Jerry like stand-up comedy in the beginning for every single episode?
It does for like the first I think it's like 5 or 6 seasons. And then like the farther you get into the show, there's like less and less of that. And then I think by the time you get to season, it's either 7 or 8 or something, they're like gone altogether.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I do enjoy those little bits sometimes, and I like how they weave into the story.
Mm-hmm.
It really is the show about nothing. where
Yeah.
I never thought I would be so entertained about people doing stupid stuff, like, and just being terrible people and having the consequences of their actions come back and bite them, you know?
I mean,
sometimes-
you like Always Sunny, right?
Yeah.
I always
But that
I always
show-
really thought of Always Sunny as kind of like just a more recent adaptation of Seinfeld. I think
Seinfeld.
Always Sunny is dialed up a little bit to like the characters are like way crazier and unhinged than in Seinfeld. Especially as you get farther into Always Sunny. But like if you like Always Sunny, I feel like especially like once you're past, I mean, season 1 of Seinfeld is like 5 episodes, and then I feel like it picks up really quickly, and like the quality I think jumps like basically from season 2 on. There are a lot of people that like are kind of not down on the last 2 seasons, but I actually still really like the last 2 seasons also.
Of Always Sunny or Seinfeld?
Seinfeld.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
With Always Sunny, I thought it was more like I agree it's like a super similar formula. But I think the roots of, because the show's creators are from Philadelphia, right? Like they grew up in Philadelphia. Is that right?
Probably. I don't know. Is Rob McElhenney from Philadelphia?
I think Rob
Michael?
McElhenney's from Philadelphia, and he knows like
okay. Yeah.
what it's like to grow up in that environment that it's in. And I thought it was always more like on the surface, it's like a bunch of like crazy stuff happening, and these like lower like income people being like making bad choices and having it reflect on them. But I also thought it was almost social commentary at times too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Where I feel like Seinfeld is less social commentary and more of just goofiness.
Yes, I would agree.
Yeah. So yeah.
I think you should keep up with it because
I do want to finish
extremely
Seinfeld,
funny.
and I also want to finish Always Sunny. I'm on like season 3 or something like that.
Oh, dang,
And
you're
it's just
behind
it's
on
on Hulu, and it was the only thing I was watching on Hulu, and Hulu's getting more expensive, and it's like I can't afford Hulu right now, so I had to cancel Hulu. So yeah, it's just one of those things that's like you got to sacrifice some things. Maybe I'll come back to it after I cancel HBO Max because they're gutting all their shows, but it's okay.
they're gutting all their shows.
Well, HBO Max is like
They're
Warner
probably
Brothers
going
is
away.
Warner Brothers is like trending downhill fast.
Yeah, there's a lot of changes going on at WB right now.
I heard there was some
And,
kind of merger. Is that why?
Yeah, Discovery. They didn't. I don't think they merged. They bought
Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers.
Discovery
And-
bought Warner Brothers, or the other way around?
No, they
Discovery
Since
bought
April,
Warner Brothers.
merger of Warner Media with Discovery Inc. to form Warner Bros. Discovery.
But yeah, one of the speculations is that HBO Max will go away and just everything will go over to Discovery Plus, which is their streaming service.
Why are they choosing that branding as opposed to HBO?
I don't know.
I feel like HBO
feel like
has
HBO
more like clout, and there's like more kind of like attachment of some type of quality than.
That's what I would think.
Although
When I think
HBO
Discovery Plus, I think of like crappy, like
Well-
Discovery shows.
Discovery, like reality, stupid shows.
I don't know if it's because HBO is like a subsidiary of Warner Bros. Where Discovery is like the name of their actual company too. So maybe if it was like named Warner Bros. Plus, then things would have stayed on there or something instead of HBO Max. I don't know.
I don't know. Like you said, HBO has that like established.
Yeah, I feel like
I'm also tired of all the pluses. Disney Plus, Paramount Plus. What's next? A24 Plus? Like,
Gosh,
bring the
Real
artsiest movies straight to your living room, only for
Exactly.
$14.99 a month with ads.
HBO Max sounds like, oh man, I'm getting the max of the HBO. You know, I'm just tired of pluses. Like, imagine if Hulu was called Fox Plus.
See, Hulu is the only like, I mean, of like the big ones that's like it's like named its own.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I have respect for it. I mean, Netflix has also named its own.
I guess Hulu though was like when it went in its inception, it was owned by like 4 different companies anyway though, so that probably has something to do with that.
Disney owns it now. Don't they?
Oh well, they own
Yeah.
I think the majority of it at this point, but it was I think it was Disney. Oh no, it was Fox, Comcast, and maybe Disney. And then since Disney purchased Fox, then they like owned a controlling share of it or whatever.
I'm just waiting till Disney purchases Comcast.
No, that'll never happen.
I don't think
It'll
that'll
happen. It'll happen.
Comcast owns Universal. If that happened, Disney would like literally just own everything.
Comcast, since it's a telecommunications company, might like be worth more money than Disney.
That'd be a good thing to check, actually.
Anyway,
Oh, wow. Oh, it's close. They're both about $200 billion, but I think Comcast is 159 billion and Disney is 200 billion.
Yeah.
Still, $1 billion. Think about that.
It's that park money they're bringing in.
Think about that. That's so much money. It's money we'll never touch.
Are we gonna go to Comcast land?
I'm so excited to go to the Xfinity ride. You know, the fastest internet speeds. Here we go.
You get on the
Get on that
ride.
Yeah.
Lightning speeds.
Oh, what a sad world we live in.
Yeah.
Yep.
Comcast world.
Although the Incredicoaster is fun.
Yeah.
I love the Incredicoaster.
It's fun. I was just talking about this the other day. My mom and younger siblings, they just went to Harry Potter World in Universal. And
Nice.
sounded like a fun time.
Is that where they met Guy Fieri?
No, that was down in Ferndale, California, where he's actually from.
Nice.
But yeah, I've never been to the Harry Potter
Universal
place at
Studios.
Universal, but I guess there's like Ollivanders where you can go in and like buy a wand, and there's places around the park where you can like flick the wand and it is like an interactive thing, and like something happens like actually in the park.
How have you not been here? This sounds like you could
know.
die. This is your heaven, bro.
It sounds like a lot of fun.
Like God is Hagrid. Like God would look like Hagrid to you.
Yeah, in Ollivanders, there's like a little like kind of interactive skit thing, and then there's like the actual shop where you can like buy merchandise and stuff. But in the interactive place, it's like the scene from the movie where Harry is, getting his wand, and Ollivander's like, "Oh, try this wand. No, that's terrible. Try this one." And the skit that they do is they choose like a little kid to like be the Harry Potter, so they're going through basically the same steps, and they chose my little sister, and so she's like up front in front of this crowd, and the actor person there is like, "Oh, try Ash, unicorn hair, 13 inches, and give it a wave over there," and wave it, and then like something explodes, or like a ladder like falls over, and they're like, "Oh no, not that wand." And then like music starts playing, like ominous mysterious music, just like in the movie. And they're like, "Oh, maybe it could be, I wonder." And they give this the chosen wand to the person, and then the light like shines on my little sister, and music is like, "Whoa," and stuff, and it looked pretty fun. Like I could imagine that being like such a blast for like a little kid like that.
But knowing your little sister, I was just waiting for something to go wrong.
She casts a spell on Carter.
Avada Kedavra! Like I thought she was gonna grab the wand and try to cast spells on the actor or something.
But yeah, that would just be like, I think, so fun for little kids like that.
And for you.
And for me, yeah.
If you were up there, you'd probably be like,
I want to be Harry.
I'm a wizard.
You're a wizard,
You're a
Michael.
wizard, Michael. Yeah.
So yeah, they just went on this giant trip, and that was one of their stops, and like a lot of fun.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it does sound awesome. Okay, well, anything else you guys want to talk about, or should we wrap up?
I think we can wrap up, but we'll be back next week. Maybe with more people.
No, we won't.
I doubt that.
This is our last episode.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hotkeys is ending, by the way.
Hotkeys Plus is no more.
Yep.
No.
Sorry.
Hotkeys is
All our
ending.
loyal
Hotkeys
subscribers.
Plus is coming back.
Anyway, thanks for listening.
Yeah.
And happy Labor Day.
Yeah, it is Labor Day.
3-day weekend.
Yes. I love 3-day weekends.
Me too.
They're easily one of the highlights where it's like you go to bed on Sunday night and you're like, Monday doesn't exist this week.
Yeah.
It straight up doesn't exist.
I think I've talked about this before, but I would love like just an executive change in the United States that like you just like a normal work week is 4 days. You
4
work
10s?
4 10s and 3-day weekend. Like that to me is like a no brainer. Like,
Why not just do 4 8s?
That is actually a no-brainer
well, yeah.
for me. Well, there's a lot of actually recent studies saying that productivity actually wouldn't go down if it was 4 8s because of the 40-hour work week is almost outdated in a lot of ways.
Well, yeah, because there's a lot of like wasted time and stuff.
There's a lot of wasted time in that 40-hour work week where you can do a lot of people, a majority of people can do their job in 32 hours for the week, and it might actually increase productivity because you're working less.
Because you're spending your time at work like doing the work you need to do instead of like, well, I guess I'll waste some time, which kind of affects your productivity overall. Yes.
Sweet.
But I've also read those studies.
I'm totally down for that.
So Dave, when you like at your job, you could like get a lot more done in that time.
Yes, well.
But it would eat into Dave's free time.
I know Dave doesn't have enough free time.
No.
All right. Well, thanks for listening. We'll be back next week, and then we'll probably talk about Star Wars. I'm sure Michael will bring up Harry Potter, and Will won't
me for bringing up Harry Potter.
Will won't.
Why you guys why are you guys so hard on me about it? You guys like Harry Potter.
No, it's just that it comes up every week, and I'm not the huge Harry Potter fan that you are.
Oh, no celebrity
has come to die.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Hotkeys podcast. You can find us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, CastBox, YouTube, and other podcasting platforms. Visit our website, www.hotkeyspodcast.com. Follow us on Twitter at Hotkeys Podcast and join our Facebook group at facebook.com/HKHotkeys. Please like and review us and subscribe to the show on whichever platforms you use. Finally, you can contact us via email at hosts@hotkeyspodcast.com.